All right, hello there. Welcome to another We Been Different video. Today's video, we are going to be looking at who to start for your week 1 fantasy football matchup. That feels amazing to say. Football is upon us. I've been excited. I've been ready to go. I'm recording this the 7th. I'm probably going to upload this the 8th. So you may or may not have a lot of time to make your Thursday night football decisions if you're watching this video. If you're watching it on Friday, Thursday's done. It's over with. I mean, it is what it is, but you still got the rest of the games. So I think the point of this video, obviously your top picks you're starting. Okay, I shouldn't have to look at Jonathan Taylor and say, should you start him? Should you not start him? Obviously, you should start Jonathan Taylor. Do not come to these videos for the obvious of answers, okay? Dalvin Cook, you're starting him. You drafted him in the first round, maybe second round, depending on your draft. You're starting him. Let's not get silly, guys. Like, everyone in the top 20, Eliza Mitchell, AJ Dillon, Travis Etienne, Ezekiel Elliott, Josh Jacobs, Leonard Fournette, Javonte, James, Nick, everyone in the top 20, you are starting. Unless you have like a 6-man league and you must have the most stacked roster. Which in that case, I guess this isn't the video for you, because I'm getting more into the after the top 20 rankings to make it, you know, who should you start. If you're in a 6-man league, that must be a very stacked lineup you have going for yourself. Probably an 8-man league too. 8-man leagues probably are really stacked. I'm in a 12-man league, so it's a little harder. 10-man league, this is probably still the video for you. 8-man, maybe. I don't know. It depends. It just depends on how much depth you got at the position. But anyway, Eliza Mitchell at 20. For whatever reason, we'll start at 20. But for whatever reason, if you have 2 better running backs than this, what are you doing? Start those guys. But if you're contemplating starting Eliza Mitchell, you drafted him to start, let's be honest. But again, if your team's that stacked, I would rather sit him against the Chicago defense. It's not so much that their defense is going to be raw. It's just that we don't know what San Fran's offense is going to look like. You have no idea what Trey Lance is going to produce. So it's still all an unknown commodity. Now, again, can't stress this enough. You drafted to start him, so start him. If you have the luxury of benching him, go right ahead. Cam Akers, same thing as Eliza Mitchell, except not so much an unknown commodity Matthew Stafford, more so him. Everyone's drafted him high because of what the position he's in, and what he can produce if everything comes to fruition. But we still don't know who he's going to be, I guess, the guy. There's so much questions revolving that backfield. Antonio Gibson, Brian Robinson's gone. It's a must start. David Montgomery, you drafted to start him. You have the luxury. Would I rather start Eliza Mitchell or David Montgomery? I'd probably rather start Eliza Mitchell. But you have to start David Montgomery. Chase Edmonds. I would prefer to bench him. Again, if you have the luxury, you know what to do. Start him. By the way, this isn't just a running backs video. I guess I should have clarified. I'll probably have it in the thumbnail. This is a flex video. Right now, I'm just on the running backs, but I will get to receivers, maybe tight ends. I think I'll just do receivers and running backs. You'll see it on the thumbnail regardless. Chase Edmonds, 24. I'd prefer to bench him again to see how that situation plays out. Week 1 is the most unknown week, literally, because this is where you see how offenses are running, what's their scheme, how are they trying to play. Shad Penny, I'd prefer to bench. Harris, bench. Breece Hall, bench, especially with Michael Carter there. And he's unofficially listed as the running back 1 of their depth chart. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, if you can bench him, bench him. Again, it's kind of still too early. Like, if you're in a 12-man league and you drafted Clyde, you're probably starting him. Yeah, because you got him in the 7th or 7th-ish round, maybe 6th round. You're probably starting him. So there's that. Dameon Pierce. If you have the luxury of benching Dameon Pierce, do it. Still unknown. As good as he looks with the with the eye test. Again, week 1 is very unknown. He's a rookie. It's gonna be hard for him to just come out and blow everyone, with his play. But we'll see. Ramandra Stevenson, bench. Miles Sanders. This one's actually kind of an interesting one because obviously the Eagles are unknown in terms of, well, I guess they're kind of known, but with AJ Brown being there and Jalen Hurts heading into his second full starting season, you're questioning how good this offense will be. Another thing is, what is their backfield going to look like this year? You know, it's been a committee before. Is it going to stay a committee? Is there going to be a 1A, 1B? Is it going to be the Miles Sanders show? Honestly, I actually like Miles Sanders starting against the Lions. I don't think the Lions' defense is all that crazy, and I think Philly's rushing attack will be pretty prominent. But if you had the luxury of benching him, I would, if that makes sense. Cordell Patterson. See, like, once we get here, these three names I'm benching, I'm starting Melvin Gordon, absolutely. Like, he still put up 1,000+ rushing yards next to Javonte Williams the first year. Like, his offense only got way better, and he's still going to get a pretty solid share. Darrell, I'm benching. Hines, benching. Tony, I'm starting, absolutely. Again, you're getting some more shady stuff, but if you're in a deeper league, really, that's what matters. So if I'm asking you who my favorite starter is, period, inside the top 10, it's obviously Jonathan Taylor. It has to be Jonathan Taylor. If you're asking me my favorite starter, period, between 11 to 20, it would be probably Javonte Williams. If you're asking me who's my favorite starter from 21 to 30, it would be, just looking at these names, honestly, probably Cam Akers from 21 to 30 would be my favorite. And from 31 to 40, it would be, honestly, I would say it's a three-way tie between Tony Pollard, Melvin Gordon, and Miles Sanders. I think those three are going to be pretty solid starts this week. Miles Sanders, I think, is the biggest risk of the three, if I'm being honest with you, even though he's the highest ranked here. And then for whatever reason, if you need to start between 40 to 50, your best bet here is probably James Robinson, or yeah, between 40 to 50, I'm just starting James Robinson because at least Doug Peterson confirmed that he's having a role. He's still the starting running back on the depth chart. Like, yeah, I'm rolling with James Robinson if I'm talking from 40 to 50 on the running back chart. Now let's go to receivers. Same thing here. You drafted some of these guys to be your starters, period. I'm going to just avoid the top 10 entirely. Like, don't kid yourself. You're starting everyone in the top 10. Definitely the top 20 as well. So we're going to look past to 21 through 30. Jaylen Waddle, start. Don't care what anyone says. Tyreek Hill's on the opposite side. Tua's still throwing the ball. Yeah, whatever. Tua was still throwing the ball when Jaylen Waddle had an amazing season. Even though Tua missed some games, Jaylen Waddle, it doesn't matter who his QB is, man. He's just good. Darnell Mooney, if you have the luxury of benching him, I would try to bench him. Just because, again, Justin Fields, that Chicago O, very, very unknown. People are projecting them to be bad. It's possible, obviously, but you still don't have the answers, is the point I try to get at with a lot of these picks. Gabe Davis, if you have the luxury, bench him. He had, a good playoff run, but I mean, you got to be consistent in football to be, a fantasy starter. And Gabe Davis needs to show consistency. DK Metcalf, I'm still starting him. You drafted DK to start. If you have the luxury to bench him, you must have some amazing receivers, but you have to start him. Same one with Shard Bateman and Elijah Moore. I think you just have to start all of those guys. Elijah Moore with Joe Flacco starting is going to be juicy. Oh, man. The one game Joe Flacco started last season, Elijah Moore had like 8 catches and 140 yards and a touchdown on 11 targets. My guy, that's freaking amazing. You live for those moments as a fantasy manager. Adam Thielen, yes, I would start that. Jerry Jeudy, Allen Robinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yes, I'm starting all those guys because let's be honest, you drafted them to start. If you have the luxury, I would prefer to bench Amon-Ra the first game if you had the luxury. Not likely, but big if. Just because, again, Lions offense, as much as you want to say, oh, You know, they got it going. You're looking better this season. Amon-Ra had a solid rookie season, but he worked his way slow, as a lot of receivers do. I just don't know if the first game in his second season is going to be, you know, the same as how he finished the season. I would like to see how that offense works. The only one I'm starting on the Lions offense with absolute comfort is DeAndre Swift, and then TJ Hawkinson because he's a tight end. If TJ Hawkinson was a receiver, then I would not start with confidence. Brandon Ayuk, if you can, bench him. Same with Michael Thomas. Honestly, 31 through 40 is where I'd say you'd bench a lot of the guys. If you have the luxury. I'd say for sure, no matter what, though, you have to start Juju, though, right? You have to start Christian Kirk if you drafted him. Like, who else is there? Devonta Smith. It feels like you have to start guys like that. It's just a lot more tough. Robert Woods, you're starting. Let's be honest. I mean, you're kind of just banking on the fact that he's the receiver one, and that after ACL, his ACL injury, he'll be just fine. Most of these names, though, I mean, Chris Godwin, you have to start. Like, if he plays, you have to start him. Yes, he's ranked 50th here on the score. This is the scores rankings. That's pretty freaking low. But you have to start him. You can't question that. You drafted that guy in the, the third, fourth round? Start him. Come on, man. Like, no way you bench him unless, unless your receivers are freaking that insane. Kadarius Toney, benching him week 1. Jahan Dotson benching week 1. Valdez Scantling benching week 1. Pickens is a rookie. I'm definitely benching week 1. Drake London, I'm benching week 1. You know, once you get past 40, it gets a lot more rough out here. And a lot of these names are just like, oh gosh. I think Paris Campbell, believe it or not, is a sneaky pick. If you have no receivers, right? If you have no receivers and you just need to start one, it's week 1. If you have no receivers, you did a terrible draft. But if that's you, that's okay. This guy's a sneaky pick. I actually like Paris Campbell for week 1. Now, am I starting him? No. I didn't draft him to start. I drafted him literally just as a flyer. But he is definitely looking like someone Matty Ice is trusting. So if you have no receivers to start, you need a flex play. Paris Campbell, I think, is a nice streamer. He could be something throughout the season. We don't know. I don't know. He knows, and his club knows what kind of role he has. But I think his week 1 outlook is going to be probably pretty decent. Maybe 40, 50 yards, maybe a touchdown. We'll see. But yeah, a lot of these, again, the top 30, you're all a must start. Let's be honest. Now, this is the part of the video where it's really hard because I don't have like who should you start over who. And let's say your team is really stacked. Now, this is the part where I say 1 through 10, who's my favorite? 11 through 20, who's my favorite? So 1 through 10, my favorite is gonna be probably Justin Jefferson against Green Bay or Cooper Kupp against Buffalo. But yeah, you're starting 1 through 10 anyway. 11 through 20, my favorite is gonna be Courtland Sutton against the Seahawks, or Terry McLaurin against the Jags. Those look really, really good. Or Michael Pittman, you could go against Houston. So yeah, those 3 are looking really, really good at 11 through 20. 21 through 30, I would say my favorites would be Rashad Bateman, Elijah Moore, I would say Rashad Bateman and Elijah Moore would probably be my favorites from 21 through 30. I actually have a lot of belief in Elijah Moore, and Rashad Bateman is the #1 receiver for the Ravens. Lamar's got to throw it to someone, right? Aside from Mark Andrews, right? Hopefully, probably, maybe. 31 through 40, my favorite would be Juju for sure, and Devonta Smith. I actually like those picks a lot. If you have the luxury of starting them, awesome, great pick. Run them up week 1. I don't think Detroit has a great secondary, and same with Arizona. So yeah, you guys should be eating pretty happy. And 40, 51 through 50. We are going to say, geez, I don't like any of these. I would say, no, Chris Godwin. But you probably drafted Chris Godwin to start anyway. So we'll say 41 through 49. Julio or Kadarius Toney would be my picks. A lot of the other ones again. Or no, Robert Woods. Sorry, Robert Woods would be my favorite pick. Then Julio and Kadarius Toney. And for whatever reason, if you're through 51 through 60, I would say Jacoby Myers. Yeah. So yeah, those are my favorite running backs and receivers for the week. I don't have the luxury of being able to look at comments and being people saying, who should I start, this person or that person? But if you want my advice, feel free to comment, and I will respond to you if you have a question like, hey, I have Deontay Johnson or T. Higgins in my flex spot. Now that's very unlikely, but if you drafted 4 receivers in a row, it's possible. I have Deontay Johnson or T. Higgins or Deontay Johnson and Allen Robinson in my flex spot. Who should I start? I will reply to your comments. So I can only do what is given to me, and I have the rankings here, and I can kind of explain to you how I like the rankings, and then I can tell you my favorites. But if you want an exact question being answered, please comment down below. I will be doing these videos every Thursday because, well, y'all deserve to know who to start week 1 through 17, right? Or week 1 through 18, right? I hope so. So week 1 through 18, look for this video to happen every single Thursday. No surprise when you see it being uploaded. And again, please, if you have that question, put it down in the comments below. As long as it's not past Sunday, if I have time, I'll make sure to look at the comments on Friday and Saturday, and I'll respond to you. If it's Sunday morning, I don't know if I'll get to it in time, but I'll try to. And if you see this just past Sunday and Monday, then it didn't really matter, did it? So yeah. Anyway, this has always been different. Always be different. I'm going to say it one more time. If you guys have any questions on who to start down below, I'm no proven commodity, but I've watched football for 11 years and I watch all 8 games at once. I know a lot of football. So feel free to ask if you have any questions. But yes, this has been always been different. Always been different. And we out.